Love them or loathe them, everyone has got an opinion on zoos. Some think it's acceptable to keep animals in environments like that, others don't. But regardless of what you do or don't think, one thing is true: odd things happen in zoos. Crazy things. And we've got evidence. If these 20 zoo moments were not filmed, no one would believe it. Number 20. Black swans feeding the fish. In an unexpected turn of events, a couple of black swans were filmed feeding koi fish in a pond, a sight that puzzled many. Birds typically feed on fish, not feed them. So, what's going on here? Well, this behavior wasn't something the swans were taught, but it developed out of necessity. Zookeepers feed the swans dry pellets, which they then dip in the water to soften and make them easier to swallow. However, this action attracts the koi fish, who come up to investigate. Over time, the black swans began spreading the food around, effectively sharing it with the koi. It's a charming and unexpected display of kindness from these usually independent birds. Number 19. Dancing monkey, a gorilla groove. Have you ever seen a gorilla breakdance? Well, at the Calgary Zoo, a camera captured a hilarious moment when a gorilla was seen spinning around and splashing in a puddle to a beat only it could hear. This playful display had the gorilla in high spirits, clearly enjoying itself as it showed off some spontaneous moves. The dance seemed to come out of nowhere, with the gorilla continuing to spin and splash for some time. Just as suddenly, the performance ended, as the gorilla stopped, seemingly aware that it was being watched. Perhaps it was a brief moment of fun that it decided to end before the audience could get too comfortable. Number 18. Escape and return, the hippo's short adventure. Not all animals want to escape from the zoo, as proven by one particularly funny incident involving a hippo. The hippo somehow managed to escape its enclosure, slipping through an open security gate and wandering out into the outside world. While hippos are dangerous animals, this situation didn't unfold as you might expect. Instead of causing chaos, the hippo took a few moments to explore the area before deciding it wasn't worth it. After a brief stroll outside, the hippo turned around and returned to the zoo, seemingly content to go back home. It's a humorous reminder that sometimes even the wildest animals prefer the comfort of their familiar surroundings. Number 17. On two legs, the upright chimpanzee. Humans are known for walking upright, a trait that sets us apart from most other primates. While some species like gorillas and orangutans can walk on two legs for short periods, they generally prefer moving on all fours. However, one chimpanzee has flipped the script, walking fully upright like a human. This remarkable animal moves with a human-like gait, even holding its hands out as it walks to grab objects. And sure enough, the chimp grabs a banana. Because what else would a chimp want? What's truly fascinating is that this chimp didn't just take a few steps. It walked a considerable distance on two legs, proving that it was fully capable of upright movement. We're not sure how the chimp learned this skill, but let's hope it's not the beginning of a new trend among primates. Number 16. Crocodile fight, a slow-burning battle. It's time for another animal showdown, and this one features a classic battle between two crocodiles. But unlike what you might expect from a fight between these fierce reptiles, the encounter doesn't start with a flurry of action. Instead, the two crocodiles spend some time sizing each other up, cautiously circling one another before one makes its move. The fight that ensues is slow and methodical, as the crocodiles attempt to bite each other and gain the upper hand. There's no rapid attack here, just a steady exchange of nips and hisses as they continue to try to outmaneuver one another. Eventually, both reptiles back off, leaving us to wonder what might have happened if they had escalated the fight to full force. It's a test of patience and persistence, showcasing the crocodile's strategic approach to confrontation. Number 15. Dancing bear, polar bear's unexpected performance. While you may have seen dancing bears at circuses, it's not every day you get to witness one performing at a zoo, and in this case, it's a polar bear showing off its dance moves. This bear knows how to bob, weave, and put on quite the show for onlookers.
Bear, polar bear,
The crowd, including some amused children and their parents, watches as the polar bear dances to a rhythm only it seems to hear. The question on everyone's mind is, where did this bear learn these moves? While we may never know, one thing is for sure, it's got some serious talent. If this bear ever decided to join a dance competition, it would definitely steal the spotlight. It's hard not to imagine it as the next big star on a show like Dancing with the Stars, with a fan base bigger than the famous Coca-Cola polar bears. Number 14. Geese still suck. The rhino versus the geese. It's a well-known fact that geese can be a bit unpleasant, and this incident at the zoo proves just that. A rhino was calmly grazing when a pair of geese in nearby waters took notice of the rhino's presence. As the rhino moved closer to one of the geese, it startled the bird, which quickly fled. This set off a chain reaction of furious honking from the remaining goose, which, strangely enough, caused the rhino to dash away in fear. The onlookers were stunned to see the massive rhino fleeing from a couple of honking geese, especially since the rhino could have easily crushed both birds without a second thought. But in this moment, it was the geese who held the power. It's a reminder that sometimes all it takes is the right pressure to make even the most intimidating creatures run for cover. Number 13. Let them fight. Gorilla Showdown. It's not something you expect to see at a zoo, but sometimes animals engage in fights within their own species. A case in point, a dramatic altercation between two gorillas. At first, everything seems calm. The gorillas are going about their business, entertaining the crowd with their usual behaviors. However, in an instant, the situation escalates and the two gorillas begin to fight. These are powerful animals, and their strength is intimidating to watch. The crowd is visibly nervous, with one onlooker even asking, "Where are the zookeepers?" But it's hard to intervene in moments like this. Yelling at the gorillas likely wouldn't have had much of an effect, and although zookeepers can deter aggressive behavior, it's not always immediate. The entire scene quickly turned from a peaceful zoo exhibit to something that felt more like a live-action fight night. It's a reminder that even in a controlled environment, animal instincts can sometimes take over unexpectedly. Number 12. Escape from the zoo. The Great Octopus Escape. Animals have a natural instinct for freedom, and sometimes that leads them to escape their enclosures. But you might not expect an octopus to be one of the escape artists. This incredible creature proved that it could think outside the box, literally. In an astonishing display of ingenuity, the octopus used its suction cups to scale a glass barrier, slowly but surely making its way out of its pen. The onlookers were initially captivated, assuming the octopus wouldn't make it over. However, the determined cephalopod defied expectations, eventually making it to the floor outside of its tank. The crowd, initially entertained, quickly realized that this was no longer a cute moment. It was time to call a zookeeper. The octopus had earned its freedom, at least for a short time, and left the humans watching it with a memory they wouldn't soon forget. Number 11. Mine, the orangutan's warning. In the animal kingdom, the rules of theft are simple. If you're going to steal from someone, make sure you're not caught. This lesson is learned the hard way by a macaque that tried to snatch a banana from an orangutan. The macaque thought it had found an easy target, but the orangutan quickly proved it was a mistake. With lightning speed, the orangutan grabbed the macaque by the head, holding it firmly and pulling it closer. The footage cuts off there, but what we see is enough to make us realize that the orangutan didn't hesitate to defend its snack. Orangutans are often considered laid-back and peaceful creatures, so this aggressive move was quite the shock. It's a reminder that appearances can be deceiving. Underestimating an animal, no matter how calm it seems, can have dangerous consequences. The macaque learned this lesson the hard way. Now it's time for the sweet topic. Safety at zoos is paramount, not just for the animals, but for the humans who visit. There's a reason why there are partitions between people and the animals, because of the unpredictability of the animals. Sadly, though, people can be just as unpredictable, if not more so, especially children. The child in these two images behaved in a highly unpredictable way with dire consequences, as you can sadly see in the second image, the one on the right. This kid foolishly climbed over the partition, throwing him into the lion enclosure as he wanted to get up close and personal with the lion. As you can see in the first image, he attempted to cuddle the cat, but the lion, irritated, fought back. As we can't show an injured child and don't really want to, we've had to blur the second image. The irony is, that makes the situation look worse than it actually was. Thankfully, the boy survived. Staff raced in to help, but he was hurt, though thankfully made a full recovery. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below, using the hashtag #SweetTopic. Number 10. Goose versus giraffes. Expected showdown. Sometimes animal confrontations are just too bizarre to believe. Case in point, a goose taking on 3 giraffes at the Brookfield Zoo. As the geese and their family were wandering through the zoo, 3 giraffes casually walked up beside them. The giraffes weren't threatening at all, but the goose had other ideas. In a surprising move, the goose flew up and began attacking the giraffes. Despite being much smaller than the towering giraffes, the goose fiercely protected its family. The giraffes, probably confused by the attack, stood there, seemingly wondering why this bird was coming after them. It's a funny and somewhat absurd moment that shows how strong protective instincts can be, even in animals that might seem outmatched. For the giraffes, it was a quick lesson in just how feisty a goose can be. Number 9. I'll take some. Bears. Asking for food. It's not uncommon for zoo animals to learn how to interact with humans, especially when there's food involved. In this case, a group of bears at a zoo has figured out how to communicate their hunger. After a few successful feedings, the bears begin to motion toward the humans, signaling that they are ready for more. One bear even uses its paws in a way that looks almost human, stretching out and clearly gesturing for food. The visitors watching this display can't help but laugh at the bear's antics. It's as if the bear is a child, eagerly asking for a treat. While we don't know how the bear learned this trick, it's clear that the bear has mastered the art of getting what it wants. As long as it keeps using its clever motions, it's bound to be well fed. Number 8. What is that? Gibbons and the hedgehog. Ever been surprised by an encounter with an unfamiliar creature? Animals too have their own moments of confusion when faced with something unfamiliar. At this zoo, some gibbons were seen observing a hedgehog that was getting a bit too close to their enclosure. The gibbons were clearly nervous, retreating to the safety of a tree to escape the small creature. The hedgehog wasn't a threat to the gibbons, but the primates didn't know that. Their instinct was to flee from this unfamiliar animal, showing just how cautious animals can be when confronted with the unknown. It's a reminder that animals, just like humans, have moments of uncertainty, and they react based on their instincts to keep themselves safe. Number 7. Orangutan kiss, a heartfelt connection. In the UK, something extraordinary happened at a zoo that highlighted the surprising emotional depth of animals. A pregnant woman named Naomi Davies, who was 4 months along, visited the orangutan exhibit with her fiancé. As she stood near the glass, an orangutan mother and her baby noticed her baby bump. The young orangutan approached the glass and gently kissed it right where Naomi's belly was. It was an incredibly sweet moment that stunned Naomi, who couldn't believe the primate recognized what her pregnancy meant. The mother orangutan also observed Naomi's belly with great interest, as she had recently given birth herself. Naomi later reflected that the orangutan's reactions demonstrated a shared understanding of the experience of motherhood, despite the vast differences between humans and animals. It was a reminder that, at the heart of it, all mothers, whether human or animal, share a deep instinctual connection in caring for their young. Naomi even mentioned that she hoped to bring her child back to visit the orangutans in the future to see if they would recognize them. How sweet and touching that would be. Number 6. Tug of war, man versus lion. Ever wondered what would happen if you pitted human strength against that of an animal? Well, a unique event took place when 3 WWE wrestlers, Ricochet, Fabian Aichner, and Killian Dane, decided to engage in a tug-of-war challenge with a lion at a zoo. Of course, the setup was made with safety in mind. ensuring neither the wrestlers nor the lion were harmed. The wrestlers, known for their impressive strength, were no match for the lion's raw power. The lion simply clamped down on the rope with its powerful jaw and began pulling with all its might. Despite the wrestlers' muscles and the physical effort they exerted, the lion's bite force and endurance proved to be too much.
Come on, guys, you got this. There we go.
After a brief struggle, the wrestlers were forced to concede. It was a clear demonstration of just how powerful a lion truly is, and it highlighted the incredible strength animals possess, especially when it comes to their natural abilities, like biting and pulling. This tug-of-war became a great reminder of the raw power found in the animal kingdom. Number 5. Next pick, please, the gorilla and the phone. Technology can often leave animals perplexed, but sometimes they seem to get the hang of it, especially when it comes to human gadgets. At the Louisville Zoo, a curious young gorilla was captivated by a teenager's phone. The teen started showing the gorilla pictures of other gorillas, and to everyone's surprise, the gorilla became fully engrossed. It's as if the ape understood exactly what was going on. The gorilla reacted to each picture shown, seeming to enjoy the interaction. By the end of the video, the gorilla was sitting comfortably, leaning against the glass, completely fascinated by the phone. It's unclear whether the gorilla truly grasped the concept of the images, but the fact that it kept coming back for more shows its curiosity and intelligence. This unexpected moment between technology and animal instinct highlights the advanced cognitive abilities of gorillas. Next time you visit the zoo, you might want to try the same trick. Just be ready for an interaction you might not expect. Number 4. I want my hat. The zoo visitor's close call. When visiting a zoo, there are some basic rules that everyone should follow. Don't feed the animals, don't harass them, and most importantly, don't venture into their enclosures. Unfortunately, not everyone follows these simple guidelines. A woman at the Toronto Zoo made a dangerously ill-advised move when she dropped her hat while watching a tiger from above its pen. Instead of asking for help, she jumped down, barely missing the tiger's reach, and retrieved her hat from inside the enclosure. Fortunately, a series of safety fences prevented the tiger from getting too close. The woman was lucky, but it was a reckless decision that could have ended badly. As she returned to the crowd, she was called out by a bystander who couldn't believe her audacity. While the criticism was harsh, the man had a point. The woman's actions were incredibly risky, and though she got away unscathed, the situation could have been much worse. This serves as a reminder that zoo visitors should never take unnecessary risks. No item is worth the danger involved. Number 3. The gibbon. Aerial acrobatics in action. At the Dudley Zoo in England, there's a gibbon that will put any circus performer to shame. This ape is no ordinary primate. It's a master of the trees. Watch as it swings effortlessly through branches, performing acrobatic feats that seem almost human in their complexity. What's fascinating is how the gibbon falls from one branch to another, always landing gracefully and grabbing the next branch with perfect precision. It's not just a monkey goofing around. This is a demonstration of strength, agility, and purpose. This gibbon isn't just playing, it's showing off its remarkable skill set. One of the reasons behind its incredible acrobatic abilities lies in its unique wrist joint, which functions almost like a ball and socket joint, allowing for easier and more fluid movement. This anatomical feature reduces strain on the shoulders and arms, making its feats seem effortless. Watching the gibbon's routine, you can't help but be impressed by how well it's adapted to swinging through the trees. And when the performance ends, it almost seems confused, as though it wasn't sure why the show stopped. Truly, this is one primate that knows how to put on a show. The gibbon's skill set goes beyond mere agility. These primates are among the most advanced of all tree-dwelling creatures when it comes to locomotion. Their primary form of movement is known as brachiation, which is a specialized form of swinging from branch to branch using their long, powerful arms. This allows them to cover large distances in the treetops with minimal energy expenditure, giving them a considerable advantage in the forests they inhabit. Gibbons are highly territorial, and the trees provide both a food source and protection from predators. Their acrobatic capabilities are essential to navigating through the dense canopies of tropical rainforests, where they find fruits, leaves, and insects. Gibbons have an incredible sense of spatial awareness, which helps them to navigate the treetops with such ease. Their strong hands and feet are adapted for gripping branches tightly, while their arms, which can be up to 1.5 times the length of their bodies, enable them to swing through the air at impressive speeds. This specialized limb structure makes them one of the fastest-moving mammals in the trees. They can reach speeds of up to 55 kilometers per hour, 34 miles per hour, when moving between branches. Interestingly, gibbons are also known for their vocalizations. They are often called the singers of the forest due to their loud, melodious calls, which can be heard for miles. These calls are used to establish territory and communicate with other gibbons. Each gibbon species has its own unique song, which is an important part of their social behavior. The Dudley Zoo's gibbon is no exception, often filling the air with its distinctive calls, adding to the enchantment of watching its performances in the trees. The gibbon's acrobatic abilities and intricate movements are not just for show, they are vital for survival. The highly flexible shoulder joints, long arms, and powerful grip allow gibbons to access food sources that are often out of reach for other animals. Additionally, their movements help them evade predators, including large birds of prey, snakes, and other carnivores that may be lurking in the underbrush. These physical adaptations make gibbons one of the most efficient tree dwellers in the animal kingdom. At Dudley Zoo, the gibbons' performances serve as a reminder of the extraordinary capabilities of animals in the wild. Their ability to effortlessly glide through the treetops highlights the wonders of evolution and the importance of preserving such species in their natural habitats. This gibbon, with its acrobatic feats and entertaining antics, leaves a lasting impression on those fortunate enough to witness its incredible skills firsthand. Number 2. Lion wants the child, a close call. Sometimes being so close to a powerful animal in a zoo can give you a strange sense of safety, but one incident shows how things can take a terrifying turn in an instant. At a zoo, a young child was standing on the other side of a glass panel, admiring a lioness that was perched on a rock. The lioness, however, wasn't as interested in the child's admiration as she was in something much more primal, the toddler itself. You could see it in her body language, the crouched stance, the focused eyes, all signs that she was in hunting mode. The child, oblivious to the danger, was playfully tapping the glass and even tried to get closer to the lioness. But as soon as the child turned her back, the lioness lunged at the glass, trying to pounce. The glass barrier kept the predator from reaching its target, but the lion's frustration was evident as it pawed at the glass. The toddler's screams drew attention, and her brother tried to distract the lioness, but it wasn't swayed. It's a close call that shows just how powerful and dangerous these animals are, even behind thick glass. And the reaction from the mother, who could be heard laughing, was a bit unexpected. Perhaps a nervous laugh after realizing just how close the situation had been. This moment really underscores the safety measures that zoos have in place, allowing us to appreciate these incredible animals while keeping us protected. Number 1. Smack the hippo. Zookeeper's quick thinking. At the Delhi Zoo, an unexpected situation arose when a curious hippo climbed up and out of its watering hole, heading straight toward the nearby zoo visitors. Though the hippo didn't appear aggressive, the sight of such a massive animal so close to the crowd could have easily turned dangerous. Thankfully, a quick-thinking zookeeper was there to prevent a potential disaster. Without hesitation, the zookeeper approached the hippo and began smacking it gently in the face, guiding the animal back toward the safety of its pen. This wasn't a random act of aggression. The zookeeper knew exactly what needed to be done. Hippos, despite their somewhat docile appearance, can be incredibly dangerous, with the power to harm or even kill when they feel threatened. In this case, the zookeeper's actions were a perfect example of how trained professionals handle unpredictable situations. The hippo, realizing it wasn't getting what it wanted, retreated back into the water. While it might seem harsh to smack the animal, the zookeeper wasn't trying to hurt the hippo. Rather, they were redirecting it for the safety of everyone nearby. It's also worth noting that such actions might be part of the zoo's training process, helping the hippo understand boundaries in a safe environment. Which of these moments did you find the most unbelievable? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.